What's going on, guys? It's Jimmy here, and I got a new update for you guys regarding the elections, the pandemic, and the second stimulus check update. And also in this video at the end, I'm going to give you guys the first clue to what is in the box. If you can guess what's in that box from the clues I will be giving you over the next few days, one clue per video. If you can guess what's in that box, you could win money directly from me. I will be giving you the details on how that works and the first clue at the end of this video. So make sure you watch to the end. Also, don't forget to like this video. It really helps out our channel, and subscribe down below so you don't miss out on new videos. You can click the bell icon if you want to be notified when we actually go live with new videos, which is typically at 10 a.m., 3 p.m., and 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Okay, first up, it is official. The United States is now officially going into a second lockdown or a second shutdown. New Mexico, the entire state, has now ordered 2 weeks of a second lockdown. As you can see here, the entire state of New Mexico announced today that it is reimposing a statewide lockdown starting next week in the state and across the country. New Mexico Governor Michelle Grisham said that beginning on Monday, residents will be instructed to, quote, stay home except for the most essential trips and urged not to go in groups. Essential businesses such as grocery stores, pharmacies, childcare facilities, and more will be forced to minimize operations and in-person staffing and to the greatest extent possible. The governor says New Mexico is at a breaking point. We face a life or death situation, and we must and we will act to preserve the life of New Mexicans. On Monday, New Mexico will hit reset, reenacting the most heightened level of statewide public restrictions and to slow the spread and save lives. Essential retail spaces will not be able to exceed over 25% of maximum occupancy or 75 customers at a time, whichever is smaller. They must also close by 10 p.m., and restaurants will not be allowed to provide on-site dining at all and only can offer curbside pickup and delivery services. Now, this is the first entire state that is imposing a new lockdown. We're seeing different counties, cities, and areas, including New York, New Jersey, and Texas, and possibly some other ones, and we're going to have more coming fast. This comes as the U.S. has been breaking its own one-day records with over 163,000 new cases just yesterday, positive new cases just in the last 24 hours. Cases are up by over 72% in just the last week, and hospitalizations have doubled since last week. And the problem is the trend. At this point, we're going to be hitting 200,000 new cases in just a few days. This is every single day. 160,000 new cases every single day. Also, regarding the election, most outlets are reporting that Joe Biden has currently 290 electoral votes. You need 270 to win, and President Donald Trump has 232. Some states or some sites are reporting 306 for Joe Biden. Most are reporting 290. The 306 is basically with Georgia included. Georgia is currently has Joe Biden ahead by about 15,000 votes. The problem for pro-Trump fans out there, I know half our fans are pro-Trump, half of our fans are anti-Trump, is that Trump has to overturn Georgia, Pennsylvania, Nevada, and Arizona. He needs all 4 of these to be overturned to be able to get the majority of the electoral votes. Currently, Trump is challenging all of these in court, and most of his court challenges have not been doing good. They've been thrown out or judges have dismissed the lawsuits, but he's continuing to raise this up even further. What I think Trump is trying to do, and what a lot of Trump supporters think he's going to do, is challenge these all the way up to the Supreme Court, of which we know he has the majority of the votes in the Supreme Court. 6 out of the 9 judges in the Supreme Court are Republican, and 3 out of the 9 judges he personally appointed and put them in their position where they stay for life. So if it comes down to votes or decisions in the Supreme Court, 6 out of the 9 of them are Republican. And a lot of people say, well, Jimmy, the Supreme Court has to go by the law. And the problem is that almost all the decisions that make it to the Supreme Court are not clear-cut decisions, okay? If they were clear-cut, they wouldn't even make them to the Supreme Court. The Supreme Court decides whether they're going to take most cases or not, and the like 98% of the cases they decide not to take. They only decide to take a few cases, and they're almost always not clear-cut decisions, because what happens is a lot of these votes come out, they're 5-4, especially before the previous justice, Ruth Bader Ginsburg, died. There was 5 Republicans and 4 Democrats. There's now 6 Republicans and 3 Democrats. But before, when there was 5-4, the vast majority of decisions would come down to a 5-4 decision. Now, they wouldn't always be on party lines where it was always the 5 Republicans and the 4 Democrats voting separately, but a lot of the decisions came down to 5-4 decisions, sometimes 6-3. They're always very close votes because they're not clear-cut answers. If they were clear-cut answers, they wouldn't even have made it to the Supreme Court. They would have just already been decided by the lower courts or not accepted by the Supreme Court. So what happens is these cases go to the Supreme Court, and the Supreme Court they take their own personal opinion and their own interpretation of the law. And that's why you see so many of these cases with 5-4 decisions, because quite frankly, they're separated. They have different varying opinions on, what they think the law means. And the problem is that I shouldn't say the problem is, but if you're a Trump fan, the good thing is that 6 out of the 9 of them are Republicans, and 3 out of the 9 of them have been personally appointed by President Donald Trump. What I think Trump is going to try to do is to challenge these as long as possible and to have a contested election where there is no winner decided. If he can get these cases to the point where there's no winner decided and we have a contested election, then something very interesting happens. Number one is that when January 20th comes around and there's a contested election, President Donald Trump will have to leave the White House and Joe Biden will not be able to come in the White House. Neither of them will be able to be at the White House. There will be no president at all. And the interim president, or the temporary president, goes to the Speaker of the U.S. House of Representatives, which is currently Nancy Pelosi. That's right, Nancy Pelosi. If there's a contested election, which is what Trump is pushing for right now, because honestly, that's probably his best shot to win at this point, is to have the election completely contested, which basically means it will be thrown out. So the next thing that happens, well, Nancy Pelosi will become the temporary president until a president is actually decided, and the presidency will be decided by the U.S. House of Representatives. Now, this can happen 2 ways. One is if there's a tie in the electoral votes. Remember, you need 270 electoral votes to win. Well, if there's a tie of 269 to 269 and neither of them have as a majority, then it goes to the U.S. House of Representatives to vote. I'm going to get to how that works here in a second. The other way is if there's a contested election and then neither president can get to 270 electoral votes because it's contested, states are thrown out, and there's just not enough electoral votes or a clear decision to declare a winner. No presidential candidate received a majority of electoral votes in 1824. The U.S. House of Representatives voted to elect John Quincy Adams, who won fewer votes than Andrew Jackson in the popular election as the President of the United States. Now, it's interesting because you might be thinking the U.S. House of Representatives is controlled by the Democrats, and that's correct. But when it comes to this special circumstance, it's completely different. And the way it works is that each state gets to cast one vote, and that one vote is determined by whether they're controlled by Republicans or Democrats. So the difference is there's a big difference here. For example, California has 53 representatives for the U.S. House of Representatives from California, 53 of them. But when it comes down to voting by state, they only get one vote. We know California is typically massively Democrats, so the vast majority of them are Democrats in their House of Representatives seats. But when it comes to voting for the president, in this case, they only get one vote. And the actual majority of the states, because each state only gets one vote, the majority is held by Republicans. The majority of states are Republicans. So if that comes down to a vote, one vote per state, they all vote on their party lines, either they're Republican or they're Democrat, one vote per state. If that situation does happen to get that far and that happens, President Donald Trump will be elected as the winner because there will be a contested election. It will basically be thrown out. It will then go to the U.S. House of Representatives. They vote by state, depending on if they're controlled by more Republicans or more Democrats. And then President Donald Trump could be reelected. Let me know what you think of that scenario and if it could happen, or do you think it will happen? Because at this point, I think President Donald Trump is just going to keep with the lawsuits and contesting everything possible that he can. So I don't think he's going to let up. So it's either going to be contested, or they're just going to say, well, your lawsuits haven't proven enough fraud, so we're just going to declare Biden the winner. Or Trump is going to have to overturn 4 states that he's losing significantly in. He's going to have to get enough votes thrown out, recounted, or revoted to overturn all 4 states. And that, I'm afraid that seems a little bit unlikely to overturn all 4 of them. Also, we're hearing from Congresspeople and Marco Rubio that we should be expecting a stimulus bill within the next several days. And this will kind of point us in the direction of where we expect stimulus to go. Are we expecting to get stimulus checks and an unemployment check even from the smaller bills of Mitch McConnell? Will the Democrats fight it for a larger bill, or will they just be happy to get stimulus checks and an unemployment extension and whatever else they put in the bills now, so that then the Democrats can try to pass more bills in January of 2021? Also, before I forget, let me show you the new box and the new size for what's in the box. The way this works is if you can guess what's in this box from the clues that I will be giving you, 1 clue per video here. This contest only lasts a few days, so don't be missing videos. 1 clue per video. If you can guess what's in this box, you will be entered into the list of people who have guessed correctly, which is typically not a very big list. From there, we will pick 2 random people to give $125 to. I'll send it to you via PayPal or however, and for a total of $250 for the 250,000 subscribers that we recently passed. When we get to 300,000, we'll be doing $300, probably 3 people of $100 a piece. So if you can guess what's in this box, you have a chance to win money directly from me. I hope you understand how that works. If you've seen any of my previous ones, you know how it works. Previous items were this Gray's Sports Almanac from Back to the Future, a Nolan Ryan signed baseball, the dragon eggs from Game of Thrones. So we've had some interesting items in the past. So the first clue is, and I recommend that you write this down on a piece of paper so you can keep track of all the clues, because they'll make more sense as you get all the clues and kind of piece them together. Clue number 1 is the item in the box can make you rich. All right. The clue number 1 is the item in the box can make you rich. If you think you know what's in the box or you just want to take a guess, leave a comment down below. You can comment as many times as you like. There's no limit. Guess as much as you want. You'll be getting more clues in upcoming videos, so make sure you subscribe and click the bell icon with all notifications on the bell so you don't miss out on new videos. Typically go live at 10 a.m., 3 p.m., and 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I will keep you guys updated with everything coming out. You can click on this top video here to watch my newest stimulus check video next, and this bottom video is how we might do a 6-week shutdown with weekly stimulus checks. And this video teaches you how to start your own business selling products on Amazon FBA. I have dozens of students that have replaced their entire 9-to-5 income by selling products on Amazon, and I teach them how to do that. Click on one of those videos to watch them next. Thanks, guys, and I will see you in the next video.